we're going to make it because this is an important topic. All right, so we're live.
Okay.
Thank you again for agreeing to do this for me. Sorry about the hiccup earlier. But hi everyone for those who are watching live and in replay. This is the voice and the face of Dr. Olabintan. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of Livingspring Family Medical Center here in the blazing city of Mansfield, Texas, not too far from Dallas. And at Livingspring Family Medical Center, we help our patients live long and well because we believe the quality of life is just as important as the quantity of life. And yes, we're going to be talking about money today. I can't tell you how many times stress and blood pressure issues and just health issues are linked to money issues. So I'm glad we're having this topic. And the topic today is, Doc, my finances are a mess and affecting my health. Any tips? And of course, we're doing the easy version. And that being said, I am excited and honored to have Dr. Olufunke Odetunde, who's a financial wellness consultant, talk with us today. Doc, if you don't mind, can you introduce yourself? Who are you and what do you do?
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Olabintan, for the invite. I really feel honored to be able to really provide some insight and tips for your audience. And I really like what you're doing. The fact that your medical practice is holistic in a way, not just focusing on the physical, but also focusing on the mental, emotional, and spiritual and relational health. So I'm really excited to be here. So I'm Dr. Olufunke Odetunde, just like you said. I'm a semi-retired family physician, a certified personal finance wellness consultant, and I'm the founder of Financial Fitness MD, which is a financial education, coaching, and consulting enterprise where we help professional women transform their finances so that way they can resolve financial challenges and help them achieve greater financial strength, really without sacrificing their health and relationships. So that's what I do. I'm really glad to be here.
Oh wow! I love what you do, and I love to hear that you're also your family physician. So what's the story behind? Oh, and by the way, those who are watching live, hashtag live, you know what to do. And if you're watching a replay, hashtag replay. But Doc, I was going to ask you, what got you into this, the financial part? Is there a story behind it? Like what got you? Yeah, I'm curious.
Yes, there is a story behind it, and I'll share with you in a second. But from the professional side, as a practicing physician, I've seen the impact that money and lack thereof sometimes have on people's quality of health, quality of life, both their health, their families, their livelihoods, their relationships. I went through it myself. As a solo financial provider for my family, I also experienced a lot of financial abuse, anxiety, stress, and financial uncertainties. So I really have a deep understanding of how money affects the physical, the mental, emotional, and spiritual health. I remember very vividly the incidents that actually changed everything for me. It was a hot summer afternoon. I was sitting at my kitchen table. I was really gazing at a pile of bills. I was petrified. I was wondering how I was going to be able to conquer the mountain of debt. And I really felt so fearful. I felt some shame. I felt some guilt. And a lot of that was because I had fallen into the trap that most high income earners fall into. That's the idea of overspending, lack of a spending plan. I didn't have a saving plan. I was so comfortable earning money, but I wasn't paying attention to really saving and growing the finance. And I really felt hopeless. I felt very awful. It was just a feeling that I didn't want to have. So at that moment, I made a decision that I needed to really take 100% responsibility because I had 4 little ones that I needed to take care of.
Wow.
So I decided I needed to take 100% responsibilities. I sort of immersed myself, like they talk about automobile university. I went into one. I made my commute every day to work, one that I was learning everything about finance because I knew I needed to fund my kids' education. I needed to save for my retirement. But that was what really started it for me. But, I will say today, though, that I'm fast forward many years. I'm really blessed to say that I've fully funded my emergency funds. I've funded 4 kids' college education without any loan. And I'm on track to really, how will I say, meet my own retirement goal. I'm semi-retired now. So I have a chance of being able to practice medicine on my own terms. And my stress level is, I can't say it's 0, but it's way down there.
Really low. Okay, it's lower.
My health is improved. My relationships are better. I don't have money fights with anybody. I'm not, I'm not intsy about money and all those things. And that's really why I'm so passionate about this, to the extent that I actually went in and became certified so I can help more people do this. But that's where my passion is stemming from my own personal experience. Yes.
And I can hear the passion and the emphasis. Like, it's like, I want to help people who were in my shoes not get to this point. Now I'm going to have a disclaimer, Doc. I have people who watch, and I know your audience are physicians, but I have someone who's watching like, well, good for you. You're a doctor. I'm sure it's easy for you. Can we talk about that real quick? Because
yes,
one of the things I've seen over and over again is money issues occur at every level. So if you're not mastered it when you're not making 6-figure, 4-figure, 5-figure, then you're not going to master it when you're making. If you don't master it at the lower figure level, even a higher figure level, it's going to be an issue. So my I know that's not where I want to start, but I can sense that someone's watching is like, yeah, good to woo for you, you DR. It's like, what would you say to that person who's saying, well, these principles don't, or this doesn't seem like something I can do because I don't have the financial bandwidth you have as a physician? What would you say?
I would say that it's not, building wealth is not a reflection of how much you make. I have seen folks that earned 20K a year become millionaires. Okay?
Wow.
And I have seen people that won the lotto go bankrupt and become homeless. I'm not saying that there's anything bad about that, but in terms of being homeless or anything, but it's not about how much you make, it's how much of what you make that you save. That's really the key. So I've seen folks, and there's so many stories out there, people that started off just making 20K. And like I said, if you don't spend all the 20K and you spend just a little bit less than that, you have a little bit of something to start with. Okay. There are a lot of physicians that are earning a whole lot. And I mean, just like I said, I give my example of myself. I was in that shoot, even though I was making a lot, I wasn't still paying attention to it. So like I said before, it's not a reflection of how much you make, it's how much you keep. I'm sure if time permits, I'll give a little bit of a formula in terms of how to help folks save more.
This is, but let me get my pen ready because I want to make sure I'm taking good notes as well, so I can also help my clients. And I love what you do, by the way. So let's really delve a little bit on how finances can have affect one's health and why. And I want to ask this question because I want to encourage our viewers to take their financial health seriously because it affects their health. So are there ways that poor finances can affect one's health?
Yes, there are many ways that poor finances can affect one's health. And I'll just list a few. Increased stress, increased anxiety, a lot of worry. Those are some of the things. And some of the stress, some of the anxiety can lead to high blood pressure. I'm not saying everybody that has high blood pressure is because of money stress. But if one is so stressed out about money, you're having sleepless nights, you are taking on 3-4 jobs just to be able to make ends meet. You are fighting every time, you are anxious all the time. All those things can increase one's blood pressure and cause some other problems because of the increased or heightened stress level. Other ways that poor finance can also affect people's health is in terms of just the basics of life, being able to have the basics. There's a strong correlation between access to healthcare. There's a correlation between being able to buy good quality food. So we're talking of healthy food. We're talking of transportation, accommodation, just the basic necessities of life becomes very difficult when one does not have the finances. So those are just some ways that, poor finance can affect people's health.
Okay. So it's important to take our financial health seriously, start from where you are. Let me not go into steps, but let's talk steps. What are first steps to improving finances at any level? So I want this to be all inclusive. So what are first steps for improving finances? What do you think is the first thing someone should do to assess their financial health? Like go for a financial health checkup.
Oh, that's a very, very good question. And I'm just to keep things very simple, I'm going to use the acronym. I'm fond of using a lot of acronym just to make things a little bit simple here. So I'm going to use the acronym CASH, CASH. The first step is C, clarity. It's important that people have a clear understanding of what they're saving for.
Hmm.
Um, how much they want to save, what their goals are. Is it saving for retirement? Is it saving for college education? Is it saving for your first, for down payment on your first house? Is it saving to pay down debt? So it's important to be clear in terms
Hmm.
of what you're saving for. But it's not just important to know what you're saving for. It's also important to know the reason why you're saving for those things. Is it to buy you time? Is it that you want to work less? Is it that you want to have more time for your families?
Hmm.
Is it that you want to travel the world? You need to know your why, because that's really going to be important, especially when you start taking actions towards building your finances. The next thing is, not only do you want to know your why, your what, but you also want to know your when. Okay, so when is you put some numbers to it, you put some dates to it. So that's just the C, being clear on a lot of those things. Then the next thing is the A. That's where you want to assess your current situation. Okay, and to assess current situation is very simple to do, and I will offer your audience a simple tool that they can use to be able to do that. But what it does for them is just give them an idea of what the current situation is. How much do they have saved? Where are they? How much debt do they have? Just some simple things like that. So that's a simple tool, but the A, assess your current situation. Then I'll use the S. The S is really starting. You need to get started. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't feel ashamed. Don't worry about, what you haven't done or you have, I
Hmm.
always believe that you don't focus on the past. You look at the current situation and then you move forward with that. So the S, just get started. Decide on, even if it's saving $5 every month, if that's all you can afford, save the $5 and do it consistently. And you'll be surprised over time what that $5 turns into. So
Hmm.
that just get started with whatever you can. And then the H, just to keep it very simple, is get help. Okay, don't feel ashamed. Don't feel like you can't do it. It's very simple to create wealth. Okay, and I will say that it's get the help that you need. Whether that help is going to be from a trusted advisor or it's going to be a trusted friend or somebody that can hold you accountable, just get the help that you need. Those would be 4 easy steps that I think people can remember. The C, get clear on your why, your what, and when. The A, assess your current situation using simple tools that are out there. The S, get started, decide and commit that you're going to take action and set
Hmm.
the date to start. And then your H, get the help that you need, and you will be on your way to creating this wealth.
I love it. I love it. And I want to emphasize some of the things you said. As you said, one of the things I found is that when when people know why and they're clear on their why or the reasons behind their action, they're better able to maintain or sustain the activity. So consistency is a little bit easier when you put your reason before you. And for some of you who are wondering, like, yeah, I'm more of a freelancer. I don't like to buy a house. It could be you could be saving for a dream life, or you could be saving towards a vacation or for an experience. Everybody has what appeals to them or what future they want, but it requires financial savviness, and so these tips are very powerful. Your why, your what, and when. Make them smart goals. So I love that. Assess, and this is the part I think that is usually tough for people to kind of sit and actually sit in. How much are you making and how much are you spending, and that sometimes can be a little tough. But I want to encourage you, for those of you who are watching, to take the advice of Dr. Odetunde very, very very seriously and start. Start. There's the thought part. Start. Do the things, get your clarity, be clear on why you're doing the things, assess where you are, and start. And I love how you started with $5. It's amazing when you have that, before you know it, you've saved and you've saved. You're like, wow, I can actually retain money. That's awesome. And I love asking for help. There are people who've gone ahead of us. You are one. You've lived it. And people don't have to experience all their lessons. They can learn from other people. So this is liquid gold. Very simple though. It appears very simple, but I'm hoping that those who are watching are taking notes, and you can actually improve the outcome of your finances. All right, my next question for you, Doc, is this: living within one's means. What does that mean?
Wow, that
What does
that's
that
that's
mean?
that's that's a great question here that gets thrown around a lot. Okay, um, so here is where I'll use a simple equation just to keep things simple here. There are three components to when we're looking at how we create wealth. There's the income from whatever the source is. There's the expense. Okay, so when we talk about living within your means, what that means is that you're spending, okay, that you're spending only what you can afford and you're not going into debt. Okay, so that means your income exceeds your expenses. Okay, so you have extra left. So I always, like in math and just wanting to keep it very simple again, I use the formula I minus E equals C. Where that I is your income, all the money that comes in, wherever it's coming from, whether it's wages, whether you are an entrepreneur, you have your own business, whether it's from your investment, all those I. And then your E, all your expenses, okay? You want to make sure that your expenses is less. So that way you have that C. And is that C, which is the cash. That's what you're going to save. That's what you're going to invest. So I remember, Dr. Olabintan, I remember you making the comment earlier about, does somebody need to be a high income earner? No. So that's where that I minus E really comes in. So it doesn't matter what you're making. You just want to make sure you're spending less. Now, living within your means doesn't mean you're not enjoying your life, because part of
Mm,
the expense is there should be a line item there that says for fun, for creating memories. So you don't feel like you are really starving yourself of enjoying life while you're trying to build this wealth.
mm, mm. Um, and it's so interesting. I remember when the only options I had was Salvation Army clothes, and I used to love garage sales because they were actually a cheaper deal than Salvation Army. Actually, I could get clothes for 25 cents. I could get like odd jewelry and funky looking shoes or clothes for 10 cents, and I would bulk bargain. And I remember when myself and my siblings shared one bedroom when we moved here, and I had an old radio, and how you know we had to adjust what was considered fun or what was enjoyment to what we were able to afford. And I know with the pressure of social media and what everybody looks or appears to have, there's a lot of meeting up or whatever the word is with the Joneses. I don't know what I can't remember the phrase right now, but I want to I want to encourage those who are watching, not to give up on the life that you've imagined, but to work towards it. It doesn't come by wishful waiting. There's steps you can take to reach that goal. And right now you may be, where I was, where you're, having to, manage things here and there and buy you stuff or reuse furniture, or, sometimes I would change the pillow covering instead of buying a new pillow just to give it a new look. Just little things like that to save money and to work towards something like going to college or investing in my education or maybe traveling to somewhere for an experience. So I'm hoping those who are watching are encouraged and don't give up. Work towards that dream life. You've got to put in the work, and these tips are here for free to encourage you. So thank you so much, Doc.
I want to quickly add something to that,
Yes,
just to make it very practical for folks.
yes.
Examples of enjoying life. It's important. You can still go on vacations. You can still, it's just that you're going on vacations where you can afford, where you are using money that you already saved for. You can decide to drive down somewhere, maybe a 30 minutes drive or 45 minutes drive for a change of scenery.
That's it.
You can do staycations. You can do, picnics. You can take your food there. There are a lot of ways, because at the end of the day, there's something to be said for delayed gratification. Number one, so that way I don't want to say pay now, play later, but that's pretty much what it is. If you can delay that a little, but you don't feel like you're really starving yourself. So maybe your vacation, maybe this time, maybe the budget that you have for it is $50. Make that $50 count. Do something that you're creating memories around. And then maybe next time you might be able to increase that $50 to 200 or 300. But it's 300, it's 300 you have, not 300 that you put on a credit card. Okay, because putting on the credit card gets you into greater debt, and you go for the vacation, and then after the vacation, there's the buyer's remorse and everything else that increases your stress level. So the idea is start from where you are and know that you're giving up something today, so that way you can enjoy things in the future. So I want it to look like you are not, what's the word? You're not missing anything now, or you're not giving up. Well, I mean, maybe you're giving up something now for something better in the future. I just needed to emphasize that.
I love how you said that. You can enjoy a version of the dream life right now, and you adjust as you go up, right? So find the ways to feed your joy and to vacate and have fun within your budget, and be okay with it. Own your journey. Like that's big. So thank you for saying that. My question to you, my next question is this. So someone who's watching is like, all right, I get it. I'll do the cash principle. I got my clarity. I'll get my clarity down, my assessment. I'll start and I'll get help. What are low budget ways to grow wealth? That's my big question to you. Yeah.
Yes, I mean we're so blessed with a lot of resources in the age of internet and so many things. I mean, so there are a lot of resources out there. Simple resources, even for budgeting. If you go online and you Google simple budgets, you're going to get a lot of free apps. I mean, there's so many different free apps there to help you. Going online, I mean, I'll just start off with simple things. I talked about assessing your current situation. So looking at your expenses, for example, if you bank online, you're able to go online and you're able to get your statement. I mean, online banking, you get your statement. Okay. So looking at your statement, you're going to have an idea. Look at your statement over a 3-month period. You're going to have an idea of what your expenses are. That doesn't cost you anything but to go online. And I always recommend for folks to actually do online banking because it keeps things simple. Okay. And if you can, another thing that you can do is also automating as many things as you can. That doesn't cost you anything either. You go to your bank where you're banking, you go on the website, you set up some of your bills, so that way it's automated. So you have an idea of what's going out, what's coming in, so you can really for bookkeeping. So that's something else. In terms of growing your wealth or saving and investing, for people that are your audience that are employed, let them look at their employer benefits, 401ks. 401k is simple. You just need to make sure that, every year during the enrollment, make sure, please sign up for that.
Can I say this? I used to not, I'm like, no, I don't want it. I didn't understand. I'm telling you, financial ignorance can be something. I used to like, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't want to do that. Didn't understand. And someone was like, it's free money. Oh, really?
You're leaving money on the table. You're leaving money on the table. So that's why, when we're talking of how do you grow your wealth, that's really one of the simple ways of growing your wealth. Okay. Just keep it simple. You don't need to know a whole lot, but it's important that you're financially literate. So that's what this is all about. Learning about finance. Wherever you can learn a little bit of something. Devoting, I always tell folks, go on a financial date with yourself. Okay, so every week, devote maybe 10, 15 minutes of learning something about finance. Okay,
Good.
keep it simple. So going back to the 401k at work, sign up for it. Make sure you're contributing enough to match what if your employer matches some of it. If your employer is matching 50% of your six or whatever, there's no investment out there that you're going to get easy 50% return on your investment. So please don't leave money on the table. So that's another way of growing your wealth. So we've talked about bookkeeping or record keeping, simple ways of doing that. We've talked about simple ways of having a spending plan. I like using the term spending plan rather than the B word that most people don't want to hear. And the B word is budget. The people don't want to hear that. So
Okay,
I
that's
use
a good
spending
one.
plan instead for that. But that's something that one can do, doesn't cost anything. So I think we've talked about a few things there. A lot of resources out there, free resources. I'm a fan of taking advantage of a lot of free stuff. Okay, so there are free resources everywhere. If you're a certain age, you can go to certain places and get some discounts. Hey, don't give up on those discounts. Get your discounts wherever you can. Coupons. Use coupons. I mean, those are nice ways of doing it. Those are some simple ways. I know that there are some talks about doing the credit card. I always don't want to say too much about that because some people can't balance that very well. So I don't want them getting into debt. So I don't. You have to be really a little bit high up there in terms of financial literacy level to be able to really make that work for you. So I don't normally talk about that a whole lot, just to make sure that people don't get into too much debt. But if you are one of those that is really determined and you are motivated enough, you can use credit cards and pay your balance off every month. So you're just using it for cash flow. That's pretty much what it is. And you're paying off every month so you don't incur any debt. There's no balance that you're carrying over. Okay, so pretty much you're just taking advantage of that for whatever that grace period is. But that I don't emphasize that a whole lot because that involves some finesse a little bit there. But I think I've mentioned a few things.
You mentioned a lot, Doc. You mentioned a lot. I love the spending plan you talked about. I love looking at statements your last 3 months to get an idea because sometimes you don't know some automated charges, right? So you're teaching about going back to look and see, okay, what are you actually spending your money on? Oh, I didn't know I was spending this. I don't even go to the gym. I work out in the house now. 401k, talked about that. Financial date, like learning new things about your about finances and ways that you can improve the chances of generating wealth, and actually having a spending plan. You've got the plan for your money. So you dropped a lot of gems. We're 2 minutes away from being done. We're gonna have you come back again because this was very, very helpful. I really appreciate how simple you broke this down and how you made it relatable. I like the talk on credit cards as simply a way to just extend payment for 30 days. Like you paid off, otherwise it could be dangerous. So powerful tools. Now, Doc, I have people who are watching who are like, I like this doctor. I want her to come speak at my forum. I want her to come speak to women and men in my group or my church or like people who could actually use this. Doc, where can people find you?
People can find me. I do have a website. But before I do that, so I don't forget, okay? Because we are talking about the assessment. So I want to make sure that I offer that to your audience that might be interested in that to help them get started, because I don't want to overlook that. But for the assessment, they can easily just go on savemoneymd.com. And they can put in a request for that and they're able to download that. So that's just save, SAVEMONEYMD.com. So that way they can get the free tool that's going to get them started. So that's that. But where can they find me? They can find me on my website. It's financialfitnessmd.com. That's my website. They can find me there. I'm active on Facebook. I'm active on LinkedIn. My first name, my last name. But they can find me there. So.
All right. And we're going to put all that on, I'm putting that on the screen as well. And it's going to be on the comment section as well. So people can connect with you and learn more and sign up for what it is you have to offer and get on your newsletter and all of that and follow you. What you're doing is powerful. I love that you used your pain points to help other people. And thank you so much for coming.
It's really an honor to be here to just share just a little bit of something with your audience. I love what you do. I love what you do. I love it that family physician like myself, and I love it that you focus on not just the physical health, but that you're taking how will I say it, exposing your audience to all these different aspects so they can have the holistic view. So you are a gem in family practice. That's really the key. Where family physicians were supposed to
Yes,
take care of
ma'am.
everything. I'm honored to be here. It's a pleasure being here. And yes, if anybody needs my help, I'll gladly provide whatever assistance I can. So it's really an honor to be with you, Dr.
Thank
Olabintan.
you. Thank you. And I look forward to doing this again, maybe in a couple of months. We could talk about a different dimension to finances as well. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for watching. Those of you who are watching live, those who are watching the replay, remember caring is sharing. Forward this to the young folks, to older folks. No one is never too late to start learning these principles and applying it to your life. And if you or anyone you know is looking for an awesome, a thorough, and a passionate family physician who will help you live long and well and have conversations even regarding your finances so it could help improve your health outcome, I am she. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks again, Doc.
Bye bye.
Bye.